How many countries are there in North America? Map of North America. North America is comprised of 23 countries and 18 dependencies. Canada is the largest country in North America, while the Caribbean country of St. Kitts and Nevis is the smallest. The United States is the most populous country in North America. St. Kitts and Nevis is the least populous. The most widely spoken languages in North America are English, Spanish, and French. The total population of North America is roughly 594 million. The continent of North America contains 23 countries and 18 dependencies distributed in the three subregions of the continent known as North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. The division of the continent into the subregions is largely based on geography, with North America being the subregion located to the north of the Isthmus of Central America, connecting North America with South America. The Caribbean subregion consists of all the island countries located in the Caribbean Sea. Here is a brief description of the subregions of the continent and the countries and dependencies that are part of these subregions. North America, subregion. Central America. The Caribbean. North America, subregion. Map of North American countries. Canada. Mexico. The United States of America. The region of Northern America consists of the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and the dependencies of St. Pierre and Miquelon, Greenland, and Bermuda. Canada is the largest country in both Northern America region and North American continent as a whole. It is also the second biggest country in the world. Only Russia is larger. The smallest territory in Northern America is the French dependency of St. Pierre and Miquelon, which is a small island archipelago in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, just off the coast of the Canadian island of Newfoundland. The subregion has a population of more than 450 million. The US is the most populous country in North America, with a population of approximately 332 million. Mexico, the second most populous country in the region and the world's 10th most populous country, has a population of around 127 million. Canada's population is just under 38 million. The populations of North America's countries are incredibly diverse. There are people living in Canada and the United States who trace their ancestry to all corners of the world. A native POW while Canadian woman performing a traditional dance at a cultural event in Quebec, Canada. Editorial credit, Alina Rainbach of Shutterstock.com. Although their numbers were decimated by the effects of European contact, Aboriginals in the US and Canada are still present and determined to hang on to their culture and traditions. Canada often defines itself as a multicultural country, a country in which people are encouraged to maintain the cultures and traditions that they brought with them from wherever they or their ancestors immigrated from. In contrast, the US, though being just as diverse as Canada, if not more so, prides itself as being a melting pot. A country in which the world's cultures contribute to the American way of life, but in which people are encouraged to be Americans first and foremost. English is the most widely spoken language in North America. There are, however, other significant linguistic communities. For example, English and French are both official languages in Canada. The Canadian province of Quebec is mostly French-speaking. There are also large Francophone communities in other parts of Canada. Pockets of French speakers can also be found in the US, including the Cajun culture in the US state of Louisiana. In addition, there are millions of Spanish speakers in Northern America, the vast majority of whom live in the US, especially in southern and southwestern states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California. The United States, US, flag and dollars. The US has the world's biggest economy. The economy of Northern America is just as dynamic as the region's people. Just about every type of economic activity has a place in the subregion. The US has the world's biggest economy, which makes up almost a quarter of the world's GDP. Canada's economy is not nearly as big as that of the US, but it is a member of the G7, which is a group of the world's most advanced economies. Both Canada and the US have vast amounts of natural resources. Some US states and Canadian provinces are well known for the presence of specific industries. Oil and gas, for example, are exceptionally important industries in the US state of Texas and the Canadian province of Alberta. Fishing is an important industry in the maritime provinces of Canada. And the US state of California is well known for being the home of Silicon Valley, one of the world's most important centers of technological innovation. Mexico's economy is the smallest of the region and is highly dependent on exports. Mexico's main exports include automobiles, electrical machinery and equipment, and mineral fuels, including oil. As you might imagine, Mexico's biggest trading partner is the US, which was the destination of 80% of the country's exports in 2018. Is Mexico, Indiana, North America, or Central America? Although Mexico is generally included as part of North America, some sources like the UN Geoscheme place it in Central America. There are several arguments favoring the placement of Mexico in the subregion of North America. Only a small portion of Mexico is part of the isthmus, including the other 7 countries that make up Central America. This isthmus connects Canada, the US, and the rest of Mexico to South America. Thus, since most of Mexico's land area is not part of the isthmus, it can be left out of Central America. Also, Mexico was not part of the former Federal Republic of Central America formed in 1821. Mexico and Central America also separately gained independence from Spain. Thus, Mexico can be regarded as part of the North American subregion and not Central America. Central America. Map showing the 7 countries of Central America: Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama. Central America has 7 countries: Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, and Belize. The population of the region is approximately 47 million. Guatemala is the most populous country in Central America, with a population of about 17 million. Nicaragua is the largest in land area. Belize is the least populous country in Central America. It has a population of less than 400,000. El Salvador is the smallest country in Central America by land area. Mayan temples of Gran Plaza or Plaza Maya at Tikal National Park, Guatemala. In centuries past, Central America was home to the great pre-Columbian Aztec and Maya civilizations. Today, the descendants of those civilizations and other pre-Columbian populations live alongside people of European ancestry and people of mixed heritage. Much of the culture of Central America is a reflection of the mixing of pre-Columbian and European traditions. Spanish is the official language of every Central American country, except Belize, where English is the official language. Some indigenous languages are also still spoken in Central America. Mayan languages are still spoken in Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. A cargo ship entering the Miraflores locks in the Panama Canal, in Panama. The economies of Central America are all developing economies. Historically, Central America's smaller countries have relied on the export of bananas and coffee. In fact, the term Banana Republic was originally ascribed to Central America's smaller states. These small countries have managed to diversify their economies to some extent in recent decades, but violence and political instability stifle further gains. The Caribbean. Map showing the countries and territories in the Caribbean region of North America. Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Dominica, Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. There are 13 countries and 15 dependencies in the Caribbean. More than 7,000 individual islands can be found in the Caribbean Sea. They are all part of 3 main island groups. The first group is the Greater Antilles, which consists of the largest Caribbean islands. This is where you will find the countries of Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. The Lesser Antilles are the small islands in the south of the Caribbean Sea, where you will find countries like Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica, as well as dependencies like the Virgin Islands, Aruba, Martinique, and Curacao. The third island group is the Lusquian Archipelago, where the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands are located. Havana, Cuba downtown skyline on the Malecon. The total population of the Caribbean is approximately 43 million, making it the least populous subregion of North America. Haiti is the most populous country in the Caribbean, with around 11.4 million people, while the tiny island dependency of Montserrat is the least populous, with less than 5,000 inhabitants. Cuba is the largest country in the Caribbean by land area, while St. Kitts and Nevis is the smallest, though the French dependency of St. Bart's is even smaller. Many of the people of the Caribbean are descendants of slaves brought from Africa, while a few are of European ancestry, and others are of mixed ancestry, including those descended from the indigenous Taino and Kalinago peoples. Caribbean culture mixes African, European, and indigenous traditions. A tribute band entertains tourists visiting the home and grave of legendary reggae musician Bob Marley at 9 Mile, Jamaica with One Love. Editorial credit: Lost Mountain Studio, Shutterstock.com. In terms of language, the people of the Caribbean generally speak the languages of their island's current or former colonizers. The people of Jamaica and other former or current British colonies speak English. French is the official language of Haiti and is also spoken in French Caribbean dependencies like Martinique and St. Bart's. Dutch is spoken in Dutch dependencies like Aruba and Curacao. Spanish is the official language of the Dominican Republic and is also an official language of Puerto Rico, alongside English. In addition, some people in the Caribbean speak dialects of Creole, which is a fusion of European languages and languages from Western Africa. Countries of the continent of North America. Rank: country, subregion, population. 1. Antigua and Barbuda, Caribbean, 97,120. 2. The Bahamas, Caribbean, 389,480. 3. Barbados, Caribbean, 287,020. 4. Belize, Central America, 390,350. 5. Canada, North America, 37,589,260. 6. Costa Rica, Central America, 5,047,560. 7. Cuba, Caribbean, 11,333,480. 8. Dominica, Caribbean, 71,810. 9. Dominican Republic, Caribbean, 10,738,960. 10. El Salvador, Central America, 6,453,550. 11. Grenada, Caribbean, 112,000. 12. Guatemala, Central America, 16,604,030. 13. Haiti, Caribbean, 11,263,080. 14. Honduras, Central America, 9,746,120. 15. Jamaica, Caribbean, 2,948,280. 16. Mexico, North America, 127,575,530. 17. Nicaragua, Central America, 6,545,500. 18. Panama, Central America, 4,246,440. 19. Trinidad and Tobago, Caribbean, 1,394,970. 20. Saint Kitts and Nevis, Caribbean, 52,830. 21. Saint Lucia, Caribbean, 182,790. 22. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Caribbean, 110,590. 23. United States, North America, 328,239,520. Jasonville, March 16th, 2021 in World Facts.
Complete gratitude. Again, information share. Information share. We do give thanks to the mystic, laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. We do give thanks and praise. Now, for I, we basically share information for our common people, our base people. Because we here on the island, we are distracted because we have what is known as the criminality, that crime problem, what seems to gloss over the media. However, it is a fact, we have that problem. But when you actually dip on the island and move around, depending on your location and movement, you don't actually see it. You have to engage the media to experience it. As much as we say the media portray that kind of imagery, lately me have an access to move about the island. And probably because I'm in my pro box, which is known, I get to see, probably a side where if you only pay attention to the media, you won't be able to experience, truly. And I say where this island here, me I talk specifically Zamayaka here. As tough as it is now, I can't say where it's going to be beautiful, really. Both physically, geographically, and even where the people is concerned. Because sometimes, just like how you said the earthquake coming at Port Royal, Port Royal was one of the, the worst city in our earth, not just in this hemisphere. Port Royal was the worst. When you talk about all the atrocities where you can think of biblically, it was there on Port Royal. And this is right here on this island. And for whatever reason, an earthquake knocked that area. However, there's always remnant of that kind of behavior. So we can't say, boy, we don't know of the kind of heinous and atrocities and, crime. It's not new to our location. But I say it was imported, it was brought here by foreigners. And this is why I find the ancestral spirit a direct eye. If you say ignore a lot of these other things, pay attention to who these people are. And we are say all people from our location. And we like to pay attention to Africa, where even we over here so can say that's the holy land. And I am not Africa or in Africa to say that. Because if there's a holy land there have to be one here. And if there's a people there have to be a people here. And we can look and see where up in the northern region, the Caucasus area, when you look at the map when we share, with what they might call the Middle East, where Egypt is in Africa, but the Middle East area take over Egypt and bring Egypt basically within the Middle East. And you see where all of the countries from the Middle East attached to what is known as the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. And it's all attached to that Middle East area, right in that Asian area. And then we know for people that was, enclosed beyond some of those northern area and find a way to escape from their enclosure. And from that side, this set of people, like an invasive species, move across the earth. And that is just our opinion. This is why we here on this location, a man can look and say, even when we can see people looking like us, governing politically, there is no man where I got under the illusion that there is not a foreign hidden hand that's orchestrating all of that. And usually that foreign hand doesn't look like I. All when them say them is on earth as earthling, we have alien from other dimension here on earth. Are they earthlings? We don't know. We are just here to learn. But me just a show say, boy, yeah, we have the earth and we have all different kind of species here on the earth, including man and mankind and human. All of these variations. Our problem is that we're so locked into, the, enslavement. We only can sit and associate with the media. And the very media is where socially engineer you, my people. There is a basic agenda what we know, because the educational structure with its curriculum teach us or taught us as a people that we are not originally where we are. We are not from here. And that curriculum was given to our teachers and institutions by that foreign hidden hand. Foreign colonial power. This is why when we share America, North America, I rather let these people tell my people, show my people where and what it is. Because when my people here in the so-called now Caribbean being taught that, hey, you're African, you got to go back to Africa, you don't have no affinity to this land. I say it's an African agenda. It's an agenda to usurp the original people's place. And when I say usurp, it means to take their place and act as them in their stead. It's not just take a place and run you out. No, them are come in and them are push you away and them are say they are you. They are now the Jamaicans, so-called. They are now the Americans, so-called. They are now the Indians, so-called. So we have to question every single thing, just like we have to make everyone prove who and what they are. Check all of them spirit they out there. That's why I have a problem. I have a problem being cordial, being respectful. But the moment I detect that adversarial spirit, that serpent seed, then I can definitely act on it. I can say, hold up, this is not where I want to be, and I will remove myself from that environment easily. Only because I have an ancestral spirit of discernment. I don't mind you coming and talking, because we always want to learn. We can learn from even the insane man or the man of unsound mind. We can learn from even a fool. So we don't mind listening, but when we are looking for the demonstration, then that's where the problem comes in. It's like when we look at that platform, Bantu International, with that good brother, what's his name? Elder Nkuse Zunada the first. I hope I not butcher the name. But when I come across them information there, where the man I show you Africa, the man I show you Egypt, the man I show you the biblical narrative stories, irrespective of the ones who want to say, we know the Bible is a compilation of writing over several ages. We now look for no God outside of ourselves. I am one of the man who come forward and say, look into the mirror for your God. Look into the mirror for your leader. Don't try to purport I to be such. I remember a resident magistrate asked me if like, you know, if it's a protest, if this is how I am protesting, you know, the fact where me have the right to be free. At that time, I totally not in that space. There's, you know what I mean? I just choose to exercise this free will. So it's never a protest for say, hey, I'm against this or that. No. I'm more for life. I'm more for peace. And again, it's always freedom, freedom in and freedom in. If we are sharing information, so this is who we are, and you're saying we are not, then you prove that we're not. This is why I'm tell Andrew Holness, say, listen, you have the national database. You know exactly who we are. You know enough of them people out there where I say them bad. When you're looking at for them background and data and them bloodline, you see say boy them is imitation. You know that. This is why the chaos is out there. You can look and see the real people on the island by just looking at your database and see the true revolutionists and the true revolutionaries here on this rock. These people know us. We are no strangers to these people. This is why there was a concerted effort by all foreign nations to subdue and oppress a specific group or class of people. And that statement is evident right now. It's evident right now. Look at us. And one of the strategies of the foreigners is to make sure them have a handful of us. You'd say being prosperous. And with that prosperity, these handful of people maintain the oppression. When a man such as I come forward like this saying, hey, we have the right to be free. It's a free will exercise. Not even the Most High Creator demand any service. Him say, what's your free will? You do this, there is the edge of protection. You do that, there is none. So it is an option, always. Free will. If it's not free will, then it's what? Slavery. So, to my cultural elder here on the island, Muta. Yes, I'm the one who said, look into the mirror and you find your leader. Look into the mirror and you find your God. Because me, I come this way, people will really run behind me or line up behind me and push me in front as some kind of leader, which I'm not. I rather the people stand up beside me, with me. Don't push me out there. I'm no Malcolm X. I have no kind of affinity or interest or aspirations that way. Simple man, quiet man, private man, a mind, being left alone. This is how me express my sovereignty. Not to participate or engage in any foreign, industry. The difference that with I people. This is why me have to slow everything down and say, people, make sure you have knowledge before you do anything. What's the rush? You live today or die tomorrow. What's the rush? Do you have control? We can only control what we can. And that's us. And it's just, we have problem controlling us, ourselves. However, we are trying emit authority to control others when we are totally out of control. And this is our issue. And our egos will always be our obstacle. Because I have some kind of colonial accreditation or degrees, then I won't listen to that man from Greenwich Farm. Yeah, man. I won't listen to that man from over Greater Portmore. I can't listen to that man from Jamaica. Where Jamaica there? I'm going to Bob Marley and Ganja down at Jamaica. That's the perception. And this is why you have a plethora of people such as I will just pass through and share or express a different point of view outside of the Freemasonic concept. Because I'm no Freemason. You understand? Yeah. I should say I'm not initiated anywhere. But I'm a mother's son. I wasn't created in a test tube. I am a mother's son. And my mother was not raped. My daddy had 3 children with my mom. Yeah. So I couldn't have one night stand. And the problem with our people, we have too much one night stand out there. Not for the children and the crime where you say I go on. Look at its creation. It's from one of them one night stand there. It's from one of them, hey, I'm so, intoxicated. So it's from one of them intoxication there. Or one of them rape there. Or one of them incest there. Or one of the family member. So when the ones them, the offspring them, the offshoot them, the serpent see them manifesting on the earth, then you're going to see a wave of criminality. You're going to see a wave of cruelty. But our people now really contemplate these things. When the political system was introduced here, it changed our environment. It changed our hemisphere. And it created a divide amongst the common people, where them start see each other as enemy, opposed to the foreign oppressor as such. And this was encouraged by the foreigners' commercial contracts. How we not here Jamaica when this place named Jamaica? And we had it before. Why would this ban the railway system that was in place for centuries? We could have touched every aspect of the island and create convenience. That thing here is called social engineering. It's like an experiment. And it's, by the hidden hand, the foreign hand. Why we have so much natural resource yet we don't own anything? Our people now ask these kind of questions, but we're quick to form all different kind of groups to separate ourselves and then fight against each other's idea. Why is that? Them thing are intentional plan. And we show the proof which is right in front of you. The moment you claim to be who you are, originally, because them can't show you when them bring you from anywhere. And we can show all of them documentation saying them take people from this location to take over there. This is why my stance is for this location. I'm on a different this ground. What them I call America. Not just North America. Not just Jamaica. This ground. So when we hold our ground, then we can look over there and say, salute to our Bantu people over there. Because that is still a specific group of people. You not tell about Africa. These Pan-Africans love talk about go back to Africa. Where? When we are show over 50 countries there. Where? And most of those countries are colonized, if not all. Where in Africa? What place is there for us? Outside being a refugee in a foreign land. This are the awakening. This are the awareness. This is where we call a paradigm shift. Making you know who you are. You're no foreigner here in your own land. We are showing you all of these foreign locations. And all of them, every single one of them, you're going to find someone in this land, including the Africans. So when them talk, you have to tell them to be specific. So if I am here as an Indian, here in the West Indies, how you going to call me African? And even call me West African? There is always a correlation, people. Sometimes we just miss it because we are the one where learn. We are what them would have called a newbie. We are what them would have said just a wake up from this slumber. It's us. And Babylon knew would have reached this point, so them have to put things in place for misdirect us. Them would have to put agents, people in place for mislead us, misinform us. And then would have to create an institution, a machinery to perpetuate this kind of condition. To each his own in the people. But we are say, watch out. It's up to you to choose freedom by your own free will. So you can exist in a free dominion. You understand? You can at least entertain free domain. It's that simple, people. Yeah, man, it's that simple. This is why you see so much people now. Pay attention. This is us as a people, you know. But we have a lot of foreign people, including people who are foreign to us but look like us. Where you see them a teach with? Are they teaching us anything about being free? Are they a teach us how to mess around in their commercial activity? It's always court this, court that, tax this, tax that. Oh, foreclosure this, foreclosure that. When I say that is the effect. But if we catch the root and remove all of that from there, then all the effect dissipate naturally. This is what I say. If these people are foreign to us and we here are prisoners of war because we have a governor general, we don't have no president as the head of state. So we are considered prisoners of war. And then we know about some foreign people with some foreign artillery. What we can't match it. This is what them use for subdue we as a people. But them say only truth can make you free. And necessarily I set you free. You have to set yourself free. But truth can make you free. And the truth will make you free, man. And you have to free yourself mentally. And that include, avoiding the commercial entrapments, learning how to function outside all of that. And this should be the new way of thinking, not for assimilate continually or perpetually. This is our problem. We have these fancy guys with them fancy theory from them fancy schooling and mislead with. That's what I go on. Just pay attention. You pay tax from now till you die and your children come pay tax. And hey, it not apply. Now it not apply for your children. And you teach them that. Who are you foreign people? Why is it that a politician can, flaunt his riches at the very peasant who I'm supposed to, serve? And the peasant accept it as the norm. Why is that? Because there's agents in place to placate the peasants. There's agents in place where keep party so the peasants can entertain themselves and look up to these agents as something special when they are just puppets, agents, glorified agents. And my people, you better open on a mind and start say with just that, not just your eyes, because your eyes will deceive you. Yeah, man. Salute to the Holy Land over there. All light going over there. That's where Babylon there. That's where, say, Jerusalem there. You know what I mean? Not Jerusalem. And that's what I say, Abraham there. Abraham, not Abraham. You understand? Because you see the usurpation clear in front of it. Adam and Eve. Eve says somebody beguile her. But is a switch that. Then you hear them say, Jacob and Israel. What is another switch? You're no longer Abraham, you're now Israel. You're no longer Jacob, you're now Israel. You're no longer Abraham, you're now Abraham. A lot of devil switch go on in our earth right before our eyes. It's just like when them say definition of America or American. And them tell us it was the original copper color Aboriginal people. That's what it's saying. The copper color, originally the copper applied to the copper color Aboriginal peoples discovered or found here by the Europeans. But now it changed to the European people and their descendants. So now when we were considered American, separate and distinct from an African, you have some European people come here and say, even when you was, we will say we have these big guns. I said, the inheritance belongs to us as foreigners. It's right there. Who challenged that? Who challenged those definitions? It's like when them talk about King James and the Bible, and we appreciate it, but nobody not break it down. Like how I say, the Bantu platform, Bantu international platform, break it down. Nobody not break it down that way and identify the location and its people. And I show you the deception and the, trickery So we have to say gratitude, complete gratitude to a elder brother and Kosi Zunada the first. And Kosi Zunada the first. Yeah. We have to say gratitude. We can't just follow what a little man name Gino Jennings, because that man they are theologian same way, full of style, entertainer. Sometimes when you think you have the truth, and you see information come forward where question where you have, it only makes sense for you to go easy and look at it. And if you can't match up what you have with that new information as truth, then you should stand down, man. Go one side and lock your business down. Because for you, I guess, know the truth now, see the truth, know the truth, and then ignore it because you do the same mess for 10, 20, 30 years, then where it make you now? Before it's plausible, deniability, you never know. This is how you were conditioned by the Freemasonic organization. A lot of no burn it, but is still a part of it. You understand? No different from an undercover. The undercover agent come amongst you and tell you everything bad about him. Agency where him work for, we employ him. Him want to blow it up, him want to do all kind of things, him want to entrap you, or him want to get information from you. That's what an agent do. So the agent will talk like you, walk like you, go on like you, but he's still an agent. He's not you. And most of my people attach themselves to these agents. You understand? Pay attention, man. Once it's bring you irritation, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. From it irritate you, something wrong. Question it, check it. Yeah, man. And resolve it. Who are these foreign people? Why are we so, submissive to this hidden hand? Why is that? This is why I'm telling my people, run from criminality, no man. At the moment, you're not entertain or engage in a criminality, the foreign authority have absolutely no jurisdiction there. The criminality, crime is a commercial activity. It's always for profit or gain. When you see all of these guns on our islands, where do we have the machine where to make these things? Which part? How it are coming here? How all of these ammunitions are coming here? Who are facilitated? Only for say videos that show say the very same state authority and its agent are perpetuate the reselling of these things. Yeah, man, it will come from them. So when the little regular police look like him corrupt and him can't do it without the upper echelons, he can't do it on his own. You mad? Not at the scale where you see them sell 18, 19 weaponry. And say you're a police officer working for who? You not work for the people. You work for the state. This is why we say self-governance, personal. Yeah, you not have to follow that. You not have to have no interest. We just choose to govern ourselves and do it accordingly, step by step. Not necessarily want to run into one way, I see out there. People want to talk about all type of different things opposed to addressing the foreign people that is like an invasive species that totally dominate the area. You have to address that first before you start trying to do anything else. And we see where them come here, and now you see them going to Africa. we are see where them coming up. First it was the Spanish people in Spain invade this location. This is when them discover us for the first time. All along from the earth, separate itself with there and it exists. And when they came here, them I tell we say we not originate here. So now my basic common people get an opportunity to look at some of these maps or atlas and can visualize what is. And as we move forward, we continue to learn so we can separate ourselves from what is truly foreign to us. And listen, even when me I listen the biblical story with Abraham, when Abram I move through and I deal with the Canaanites. Remember, you have Canaanites kings that was his friend. So now every Canaanite get judgment. So it's just like how would I say, and every foreign man, you'd have say really have that serpent seed with that devil plunder. Not all. A lot of them are escape that and come in our location. Yeah, man, them are try escape their own persecution, the religious persecution. So them engage our location and then bring the problem where them are run from here. And this is our point of view. And again, this is for our basic people. For the people them will come forward and say them learn some things in a school, but what them are here and I learn, them are look and see something different on the world stage. Because it's all a stage. Yeah, man, it's a theater out there. So we have to learn how to separate what is real or factual from what is not real or fictional. And we have to learn to distinguish between the two. And that takes correct knowledge and is a step-by-step process. Yeah, man. If the earth is out of course, then all our way has been deceived. And all who come and teach, remember, it is written, so them, profane and pollute everything. So when we have the information age, now it's up to you. It's not up to me or anybody else. This is why it's called the information age. You have access now. You have access for the basic research. And by your own basic research, then you draw your own conclusion and, you align yourself with like-minded people. And you move forward, step by step. Step by step. Gratitude, free people. The brave may fall, but never yield. And we are bold and brave, firm and strong. Give thanks.